everyone. I am Brianna Jackson, Bree. I'm the director and founder of Puzzle Pieces of Love. First of all, thank you so much for liking my page, and if you haven't liked my page, please go and like it now. It is a parent support group for parents of children with autism. We do welcome parents of children with any special needs, so please come by, like the page, look at the events. They're all special needs friendly, not just pertaining to autism. I recently posted a video link a couple of days ago from the Federation of Families for Children's Mental Health Family Reunion Conference, and they showed us this video and presented the question of, what is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing with your chapter? And at first, all I could think about was my son, and I thought that was the reason that I did everything that I did. But after a few days of thinking about it and going over it in my head, I realized that my why comes in 3 different parts. So on that long drive back home from Atlanta, that whole hour and a half, and then I got stuck in traffic, and it was awful, but I had this thing weighing on me, and I just had to express it. So I sat down last night and I wrote it all out, and the link for what I wrote is below, but I'm going to try to talk it out here, even though I'm not very good at the videos and recording myself and all that. My first why would have to be my mother. Growing up, I was always this person that was gravitated towards. I had all these friends who had issues, whether it be with sexuality or social issues and awkwardness, or they faced suicide on a daily basis and harmed themselves. I was just this magnet for people who needed a friend. And my mother opened up her home to all of these people. She would cook the meals. They would get to spend the night at our house. If they were having trouble with their parents, my mom would sit and listen to them just talk about everything that was bothering them. And when people felt like that they couldn't go to their own parents, they knew that they could come to Bree's house, and Bree's mom would be there to listen to them. Even if my mother did not like the person, she still gave them a hot meal and a place to sleep, up until she had to show them the tough love to move on with their lives. Or if it became harmful to me or my sisters, then my mother would eliminate the toxic relationship for us. But my mom always had that open spirit, that support. My mom was always that, and she was that for me and my sisters. And when I got married, my mother was there for me to tell me what was okay and what wasn't okay, and she was there to argue with me. And when I had my son, she was in the delivery room with me, and when I got his diagnosis, I called my mother and I was bawling my eyes out, because they had told me something was wrong with my child. And my mother, I will never forget what my mother said to me on that ride home. She told me, she said, "He is still the same child that he was when you took him to Atlanta this morning, and he will keep being that same child for as long as you live. You will never love him any less." So I had the strongest support system. My sisters were quick to educate themselves on what my son needed to progress and to succeed with his early intervention therapy and everything from his autism diagnosis. My mom and my sisters and my husband, we all fought for that education. And I never forgot, and I never can forget, that I have such a strong support system. And so that moves me to my second why, which is my son and my husband. They share it in equal parts, because my son has pervasive developmental disorder and my husband has Asperger's syndrome. They are both on the autism spectrum, and my husband knows my son in a way that I never will. They are the reason that my chapter is geared towards autism. And I've learned to advocate for them, and I will always advocate for them. And I want to help others to advocate for their families as well, because I have gotten really good at it. And then my third why started when I had this job at a photography studio. It was April, and so it was Autism Awareness Month, and I was decked out with my puzzle piece fingernails and my bracelet and my earrings, and I wore it every day to work, and everyone gave me crap about it. But this woman came in to get senior pictures of her son, and she saw all of my paraphernalia, and she asked me, she said, "So who is on the spectrum in your family?" And I told her it was my son, and she told me that her other son had Asperger's syndrome. And she asked me if I'd ever been in a crisis. And all I could think about were the times when my son would melt down and I had no idea how to help him. I didn't know how to make it better. I didn't know how to make him stop. I didn't know how to explain a situation to him to make life easier for him. That's how I saw crisis. And then, after telling her that, she asked me, "Well, who did you go to?" My mama. I went to my mama. I have a support system. And she asked me if I would like a job. And she gave me. And I worked that job for 2.5 years. And she had introduced the idea of a support group to me, but I had no idea what I would do or how I would even go about starting that. So I kind of put it on the back burner. It was just a little bug in my head, and I let that go. But my first family that she introduced me to that I worked with, I don't know if she wants me to mention her name, so I won't. We'll just call her V. V had a teenage boy who was on the autism spectrum. He also had a multitude of other diagnoses that he was facing. And we clicked. As soon as I met her, V was like, "Oh my God, you understand. You know exactly what I'm going through. You know all of this." And it was amazing. And I kept doing this job, and I kept working with this family, and this family lost services about 1.5 years after I met him. And V called me to let me know that she had gotten the letter that said that they were no longer qualified for wraparound services. Insurance wasn't going to pay for it anymore. They had no coverage. Medicaid wasn't going to cover it. And she didn't ask me how to get more services. She didn't ask me how to get more funding. She said, "How do I keep you?" She said, "I don't need CBA. I don't need all this other stuff. How do I keep you?" When she just asked, "How do I keep you?" Because all I ever did for her was research and share a glass of wine and talk about all of our issues that we shared in common and those that we didn't. And we talked about her son's school and how to keep him out of a facility, and we talked about life, and we connected, and we were friends. We were very good friends. I still follow her on Facebook. She still calls me if she has issues. V, I love you. Thank you, because you are the inspiration for this. You are my why. You are part of my why. So there you have it. My mom is the reason that I have the supporting spirit. She was my example. My boys gave me a purpose. They gave me something to advocate for. They gave me puzzle pieces of love. And V gave me the idea that parents need support. And I have the most amazing support network. So I'm here to establish that for you. Let's come together as parents of children on the spectrum and support each other and build each other up and help find resources, and we will get our kids to their brighter tomorrow. Thank you so much for your support. Please go like our page, share it, look for our events. We have some events coming up. We have Puzzle Piece Santa Claus, which is going to be a sensory friendly photo shoot for kids, and they can come and visit Santa. I haven't worked out all the details yet, but there's either going to be a toy workshop or a craft workshop for them to do. They will receive a letter from Santa after they've spoken to him, and you'll also get free pictures. We don't charge anything. We take donations only, so please look for that information when I start posting it. We're also planning a motorcycle ride for a fundraiser. We'll be sending out applications. You can apply for grants. Hopefully we'll have enough to give everyone some help with therapy costs or whatever your need is. So please just like us, look out for the events, and we'll see you soon.